Town officials are planning wastewater treatment options. More than 100 Barnstable High School juniors are now members of the National Honor Society, and Cape Cod Community College is helping parents and students fill out financial aid forms. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, April 6th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mann. Town officials are putting together a working group that will help craft a plan to reduce nitrogen loading in the town's waterways. Assistant Town Manager Mark Ells says the Cape Cod Commission is required to identify wastewater management agencies for Cape Cod in June.
And remember, the primary focus of what they're doing in the 208 is the nutrient loading to the coastal embayments. So a lot of the discussion that we'll be having in the next couple of months here, primarily April, May, and June, because there's a June 15th deadline, is focused on the information that we already have relevant to those embayments and how we individually as towns on the Cape or collectively, because the boundaries of these watersheds to the coastal embayments, they don't look at town boundaries.
Right.
They're unique to each embayment. How we will interact so that we can address the concerns that we have in the embayments, and the concerns are obviously what we're doing on the land most of the time, upgradient, and how it impacts that bay with nutrient loading. So what I expect to see happen this Thursday, they're having a series of meetings across Cape Cod, and Barnstable's will be, I believe, at 1 o'clock up in the Innovations Room at the County Complex. They would like to see the town designate about 7 individuals to participate in a discussion, a progressive discussion, to review the nutrient loads to these embayments, and then to look at the different ways they might be managed, and then ultimately to look at any potential institutional changes that may need to occur, especially if we go watershed-based versus just designating the communities on Cape Cod, each town, as what they're referring to as a WMA.
Ells says that all that needs to be put in place for the response that is due by June 15th. 109 Barnstable High School juniors are now members of the National Honor Society. Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Shakowski says a ceremony for the students and their families was held last week.
It was somewhat different. We have a new advisor, Martha McLean, took over the advisor position for Brent Jansen. And this was her first time organizing the event along with the executive committee members of the National Honor Society, and we had it held in our PAC this year, as opposed to the cafeteria with a spaghetti dinner afterwards. We felt that we really wanted to focus more on the students this year and have an event in the PAC. We had our jazz bands playing prior to the opening ceremony. It was extremely well attended by parents, family and friends, siblings, and we inducted 109 juniors into the National Honor Society this last week, and joining them were the seniors from our current class, also joining them on stage. But each junior did a sort of a skit, a play. There was talent that they presented. I mean, it just was really very different this year, and it went over very, very well. We're very, very proud of service, the leadership that our students exhibit through the National Honor Society. They obviously, these are students who excel, not only excel, but also give back to the community and do a lot of service work and a lot of volunteering. So we're really proud of them, and it was just a wonderful event. And, this is the time of year that as April and May come around, we begin to engage in many of our awards and accomplishments by our students. And it's probably, as superintendent, one of the, most, for me, rewarding times seeing the students and their accomplishments.
And a big congratulations to all of the juniors who were inducted into the National Honor Society. Barnstable High School will present a program aimed at suicide prevention next week. The program is called Signs of Suicide, and it will help students utilize stress reduction techniques as well as provide them with information on local resources.
And what we do is we have our counselors, our director of student services, our school psychologists meet individually with classes, talk about stress, talk about concerns that they may be having. And they do a presentation. They talk about ways to get help. We do what we call an assessment, a stress assessment for each of the students. And if those students, are exhibiting any kind of stress, we meet with them individually to follow up with them. It's been a program that's been really cited, I know, in I believe it was the Boston Globe, as well as the American School Counselors Association. So, I credit the counselors, and once again, it's really about having a pulse on where students are at and making sure that they know where to get help. I think, today, in today's world, when you think about the stress that kids are under, whether it's, competition, whether it's, trying to get into a certain college, those are really stressors that kids place upon themselves, obviously, and I think sometimes as adults we also contribute to that. But this is really a program for students by our counselors, and we do it every spring.
This is the 7th year Barnstable High School has presented Signs of Suicide. The town of Barnstable will be able to add 2 electric vehicles to its fleet thanks to a $1,000 state grant. Energy Coordinator Richard Elrick says it will not only save the town money, but it's also going to help the environment.
It's basically designed to assist cities and towns in purchasing and leasing electric vehicles, battery-powered vehicles, or hybrid vehicles. The town previously received a grant for $35,000 through this program, and that grant allowed us to lease 2 Nissan Leafs and a Toyota hybrid plug-in Prius, as well as install a charging station at our water supply division. And now with this new grant that, as you mentioned, the town council just accepted at their last meeting, we're going to get another $22,500, and this, again, will help us subsidize the cost of 2 more Nissan Leafs. One will go to the assessing department.
Great.
And one to senior services. And then we're going to get a charging station that will be installed. This is a dual-headed charging station that will be installed at the senior center. And Maddie Newton, the director of the senior center, is very excited about it, and they're looking at the vehicle as a way to reduce their energy costs naturally. Right now they've got 2 fairly larger step vans, and so if they can reduce one of those step vans down to an electric vehicle for certain specific occasions, it will provide a great savings. And then the savings for the assessing department is going to be in the range of about $2,000, monies that they'll save because they won't have to pay employee mileage.
And that program is the 3rd phase of a state grant. Cape Cod Community College wants to make it easier for students and parents to fill out the free application for federal student aid. The college will be hosting a FAFSA Help Day next Sunday. Cape Cod Community College Communications Director Michael Gross says all students entering college should apply for financial aid.
Even if you don't think you might qualify for federal aid, and frankly you probably do, they've changed a lot of the rules. But if you think you don't, you should come anyway, because many, many private scholarships now are based on having that FAFSA information. So it is worth your time, a couple hours this coming Sunday, 12 to 2, to come to the LaRusso and learn how to fill this form out, learn what's important, ask your questions, and in fact, if you don't happen to have a computer at home or access to it, our computer labs are right there in that building and computer classrooms, and you'll be able to just walk down the hall, sit in front of a screen, and actually fill it out. And if you have questions, you can get someone to come help you.
And that FAFSA help session will be held Sunday, April 12th from noon to 4 in the LaRusso building. To learn more, you can visit capecod.edu. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald. We'll talk with DPW Director Dan Santos. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.